Welcome to Big Money Sales Moves, the podcast for powerhouse coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs who are ready to scale with confidence and consistent cash flow. I'm your host, Karissa Adkins, speaker, author, and creator of the $1 Million Sales Matrix. Here is where we break through the industry lies that keep women overworked and underpaid. Say goodbye to bro tactics and burnout, and hello to alpha queen strategies. Sales, premium client attraction, and CEO-level leadership that makes scaling simpler, faster, and more profitable. If you're ready to step into your $1 million era and make your next big money move, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello. What's up, you guys? What is up? Welcome back to Big Money Sales Moves, the show where strategy meets sovereignty and women learn how to sell, how to scale, and how to lead like $1 million CEOs. I am your host, Karissa Adkins, founder of the Alpha Queen Collective, creator of the $1 Million Sales Matrix, and the coach who is here to help you step into a more profitable, impactful CEO. We want to really help you let go of all the overthinking and ultimately start implementing, and of course, finally build that business that doesn't just look good online, but actually pays you like the boss that you are. So before we dive into today's episode, I got to tell you what's happening inside one of my coaching programs. So this coaching program is called Cash Flow Codes, and it's a game changer for entrepreneurs right now. So every single month, we focus on sales, we focus on marketing, and we focus on mindset. This three engines of consistent, like this three engine business, right, is what actually creates consistent cash flow. So for any of you who are thinking about joining a coaching program or some sort of, mentorship program for you to help you grow your business, it to me is a absolute no-brainer. It's $66 a month, and it's month-to-month membership. And of course, you get 2 live group coaching calls with me. You get a community of badass women who actually show up for each other. And you get instant access to my digital training center that breaks down everything that I'm about to talk and teach on today. That is the $1 Million Sales Matrix. So if you've ever said, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it when it comes to business, then baby girl, this is your sign. This is where strategy meets accountability and things finally start clicking in your business. Now, we just launched this coaching program a couple of weeks ago, and for 30 days prior to this launch, all of these beautiful coaches, women, CEOs, service-based entrepreneurs, they have been conditioning their mindset for success, because mindset is at the key of everything we do. And it's definitely something that we're going to talk about throughout this show consistently, because mindset is everything. But over the last 30 days, a couple of weeks that we've been meeting together, we've been really diving into pillar number 2, which is all around magnetic branding. And we're going to obviously get into what that means for you today. Anyways, let's just dive right in. Grab your pen and paper, because we're going to talk no BS. We're going to talk business strategies that are going to actually move the needle forward. Okay. So I'm going to always call it like it is. Okay. Most coaches aren't stuck because they're not talented. They're stuck in business because they're following broken blueprints and half-baked strategies from Instagram. I've got people out there selling 7-figure secrets to business when they've never even cracked 100K in business. You've got coaches screenshotting fake Stripe accounts talking about being booked out when they're one canceled client away from pure panic mode. And listen, I'm not judging you ladies who, talk a big game on social media, but the inside is totally different. I'm not judging you. This is definitely a no judgment zone, but let's just stop pretending this industry doesn't have an honesty problem. Okay. The truth is, most coaches hit 10 or 20K months, and then everything seems to stall out. 1 month, you feel very unstoppable in your business. You're celebrating, with champagne in your hand. You're talking about all of these incredible epic wins with your team and your partner at home. And then the following month, it's crickets. You're probably catching yourself questioning your pricing. You're probably, questioning your offers and maybe even your worth. You've probably started thinking, maybe I missed something, right? And suddenly you're downloading another freebie, joining another $27 workshop, hoping that this one secret will get you back into the income generating streams. And spoiler alert, ladies, it's not going to happen for you because talent isn't your problem. You're not just missing the system. You're missing the system that I call the matrix. So today we're going to dive into what the $1,000,000 matrix is. It's a 5-pillar framework that took me from broke ass coach in a basement to multi 6 figures. And that ain't a bunch of bullshit, ladies. Literally, my clients have seen me walk through the fire and have come out on top. Most of my clients have been with me since I was broke living in that basement, trying to figure out this thing called business. And I can literally, right, share with you tons and tons of testimonials for how I've helped, not only myself, but also the matrix. And one of my favorite DMs that I get or comments on my Facebook social feeds, guys, is I love it when people are like, "Oh my God, Karissa, it's so amazing to see you thrive. I can imagine, like just yesterday, it felt like you were just starting your business and here you are celebrating all of this monumental success, speaking all over the world and teaching and training women on how to build businesses too." Like, you guys, that freaking lights up my fire because it reminds me that I've been through the fire and I've been through hell when it comes to business. And more importantly, that I know how to get myself out, right? So if business is feeling very inconsistent, it probably means that one of these 5 pillars is off, period. Okay. So grab that pen and paper and let's get to it. So I'm going to just kind of break you through the 5 pillars of success. And the reality is, ladies, is that there's a million ways to build a $1,000,000 business, right? There's so many freaking ways to build your business, but trying all the strategies and throwing spaghetti at the wall is not going to get you there. Okay. So this system that I'm about to walk you through, it's the right steps in the right order according to where you're at in business. Okay. So it's like I said, it's the system that took me from broke ass coach to millionaire. It's the same system that I teach my clients. It's the same curriculum that my cash flow codes get those members, right? For just $66 a month. Like, it's the same training system. So we're going to dive right in. So, okay, pillar number 1 is what we like to call quantum energetics. This is all about the mindset and the energy and the identity that you have as a coach, as a service-based provider or consultant or CEO. And honestly, ladies, this is where it all begins because your business, your reality is a direct reflection of your inner world. And here's the truth, you guys. You cannot scale to multi 6 or 7 figures with a 5-figure broke ass scarcity mindset. It's going to be really freaking hard. So if you keep showing up as just the coach, you'll keep getting just enough results. To grow, you must embody your unapologetic CEO identity, the version of you who makes confident, aligned, profitable moves, even when they're risky and totally uncomfortable. And we all know this, right? We all know that success typically happens on the other side of being uncomfortable, right? So you first have to get like right with the idea that you started a business. It's not going to be all freaking rainbows and unicorns. You guys, you're going to have to take risks. You're going to have to get uncomfortable and you're going to have to make some powerful decisions. Speaking of decisions, last week, episode 1, we literally dived into some of the most powerful decisions that I've ever made as a woman, as a wife, as a CEO, and how you can learn the aligned decision matrix that ties my decision-making process into profitability. So go back and re-listen to episode 1 in case you missed it. It was my story, my message, all of it, right? The mess and everything. So if you missed it, go back and listen to it. But at the end of the day, you need to embody a version of you who is confident, a version of you who can make some badass decisions. You cannot scale to 7 figures with that 5-figure mindset. And here's what I see happening every single day behind the scenes. I'm seeing coaches make fear-based decisions, right? Women who say they want growth, but every move that they make is filtered through fear. The whole, like the voice inside of our head that says, what if it doesn't work? Or what will they think of me if I do this? Right? So many entrepreneurs make decisions based out of fear. I see this happening as well. Perfectionism paralysis, right? Spending 3 hours tweaking Canva posts or funnels or email sequences, right? Instead of having actual sales conversations. So they're stuck in this idea of until it's perfect, I cannot move forward. Or the third thing that I'm seeing that's a major problem right now is identity mismatch. So this is where you're operating like the woman trying to hit 10 figure or $10,000 every single month instead of the one who already has hit $10,000 every single month. So let me tell you something. When I was a broke ass coach in a basement, right? The only thing that my mindset was focused in on was how can I get to the other side, right? So I want to just start off by saying how you think, how you act, and how you decide matters. You need to start deciding, thinking, and acting like the woman who has already built the business she desires and wants. Okay. That's one of the things that we do inside of my coaching containers. We help our clients rewire their CEO identity, right? AKA their programming, their conditioning. We teach our clients how to catch fear in real time and make powerful micro decisions every single day. And we teach them how to anchor into this certainty before you even open your laptop, right? Because here's the truth, you guys. Strategy doesn't work if you're running it from survival mode. And that's what I mean by conditioning, right? So you're either conditioned to survive or you're going to program your mindset for success so that you can thrive. Okay. So a simple power shift, write this down. A simple power shift is this. Ask yourself right now in this moment, how would the version of me who already earns $250,000, how would she think? How would she speak? And what kind of decisions would she be making today? Then your job, once you've got crystal clear on that future version of you and how she acts and shows up in the world, then you just simply go out and do it. Because you guys, energy is strategy. I cannot push this pillar enough. In fact, so many of our clients come for the strategy, but very quickly within 45 days are like, holy shit, Karissa, I need some mindset work. I'm like, girl, I know you do. And girl, I got you, right? I am board certified in NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnotherapy. So when I talk about mindset, guys, I'm not just talking about speaking affirmations into the mirror every day. I'm talking real mindset conditioning and programming. And me and my team are all capable of helping you shift your mindset, shift your identity so that you can tap into that badass CEO energy and make more sales in your business. Okay. All right. Pillar number 2 of the $1 Million Sales Matrix comes down to what we call magnetic branding and messaging. So once you have your mindset, right, starting to work for you, not against you, we then really dive into your brand. If your message and your method sound like every other coach out there, you will blend into the noise. A 7-figure CEO brand, I'm telling you, is unfreaking forgettable. And this is where 90% of coaches are struggling, and no one wants to admit it. So what we do inside of our programs is we help you clarify your core message. We help you clarify your core story, right? We help you define your proven method of transformation. We help shape your high ticket offer. And we're going to also teach you the no bullshit ways on how to create copy and messaging that literally pulls people in. Because if you are trying to blend in out of fear of what other people will think of you, you're always going to be vanilla in a world where we want custom chocolate chip vanilla ice cream with sprinkles and marshmallows and everything, right? You have to be standing out. So here's what's actually happening in the market today. This is what I'm seeing literally coaches on every single one of my calls be doing. They're trying to talk to everyone, right? They're trying to be for everybody, which really means you're for nobody. You're also posting information and not talking about the transformation, right? You're educating, not activating something within that person. A third major problem that I'm seeing is this inconsistent voice. Oh my God, this is a huge one, you guys. Like one week, your post sounds like a TED Talk. The next, you're freaking trying to rep some freaking leggings company just to earn a little dollar this month, right? Your audience is so freaking confused. It's not even funny. And every single time you guys jump ship, right? So maybe this week you're a health coach, next week you're a nutritionist, the following week you're a functional medicine, practitioner. You jumping from ship to ship like that is not only confusing your audience, but it's taking that trust factor away. And guys, we are in a trust recession. People are still buying. Don't get that confused, but they are buying differently. We're going to be going into all of this further and more in depth over every episode that we talk about, right? Because how you're marketing your business today is probably not how you're going to market it in 5 years, and it's definitely not how you were marketing your company in 2020. Okay. Another major problem that we see in the magnetic branding department is that there's no authenticity. You guys, you're trying to sound like every other coach or mentor out there. You're watering down your power. You're using AI way too much. Yes, I'm going to say it. I don't care if you disagree, right? So many people aren't even writing authentic messaging anymore. And it's like screaming gross throw up. I want to vomit everywhere. Okay. Like be authentic, be okay with zigging when everyone is zagging. Be you. Because when your messaging is off, you guys, this is what really happens. You attract misaligned clients, the ones who freaking ghost you, complain, or drain your energy. And one of the things that we do inside of our coaching programs really truly helps you nail what we call the single perfect buyer. Okay. I'm not talking niche. Ugh, that's so old school. I'm not even talking, right, like a demographic. This goes beyond that, right? This is single perfect buyer DNA, right? You need to know who, if you just had one client and you could times them by 100, who would you want to work with? You need to know their fears. You need to know what their problems are. You need to know what they want, their goals, their dreams, their desires, their limiting beliefs, their mindset shifts. You need to know them more than they know themselves, right? Because when you do, your message hits so much harder. Okay. What it does is it attracts the women who want to work with you or your ideal clients, and it repels the people you don't really want to do business with. So we help you map out not only your single perfect buyer, not only your proven methodology, but we're going to help you, more importantly, ditch that cookie cutter 12-week program that certification school gave you. And we're going to teach you how to write captivating content that attracts, that nurtures, and that builds trust with your audience. So I have proven frameworks that we call like story cell structure, the path method, hand raiser posts, things like that, that actually pull in like buying behavior science psychology, right? So that's the perk about working with a mindset genius like myself and my team, is that we take that mindset and that psychology and we turn it into the operations, the messaging, like all of it, right? Okay, so power shift number 2, write those down, is that clarity beats clever. Stop trying to sound smart. Stop trying to sound real. Start being more authentic. Okay. I have so many stories about this. Literally, I've had women literally steal my brand, steal my message, steal my concepts, steal my ideas, steal my, like even my colors. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. But you'll always be stealing methods and brands where I'm over here always elevating my brand, right? So I'm not ever too worried about that. In fact, I think it's kind of like a compliment that so many people like want to be like my brand. Okay. All right. So now we have pillar number 3, which really does come down to premium lead generation. Let's talk about the pipeline or lack of. So lead generation isn't about doing all the things. That's spaghetti thrown at the wall, and that's burnout waiting to freaking happen. What lead generation is, it's more about designing an ecosystem that brings in aligned, decision-ready buyers consistently. So here's what I'm seeing in the industry today. Coaches with zero control over their audience. They're literally relying on social media to like reach their target audience. They're one algorithm update and then poof, your business is gone forever. Right. So they're putting all of their eggs in one basket. They're using Facebook or, Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn. And reality, guys, that is like gambling with your business. Okay. I'm not going to go into a lot of stories because I want to make sure that I get through the full matrix today. But guys, I've learned these lessons all the hard way as well. Okay. I'm not speaking to the woman who has relied on Meta and then only to, get her account hacked and then it's gone forever. I'm speaking from my own experience. Another common problem that I see in the industry is what we call trend chasing. So one week you're on TikTok, the next week you're on LinkedIn, the next week you're on Threads, the next week you're on Facebook, right? And you somehow are still not making sales. Well, duh. The reason why you're not is because you're leaving an audience open and they're like, what happened to this girl, right? Because you're busy chasing the platform instead of just showing up consistently on one or two. Another common problem that we see is what we call transactional energy. You only show up when you're in a launch mode, which just screams desperation. Oh my God, right? Oh, like you're always either launching, so you're constantly pitching to people and constantly pitching in your DMs and constantly pitching your email list. You're not really nurturing anything. And this energy, like it leads to desperation, but to me, it also leads to burnout, right? And here at the Alpha Queen Collective, we don't believe in having to sacrifice our health and our energy in order to create wealth. Like I do believe that you can have it all. Okay, there's two more problems, guys. I told you lead generation is a big, big, big one. Is we talk about pipelines, right? And maybe if you're a newer coach, you're like, what is a pipeline? Maybe if you're like a six-figure earner or multi-six like me, we have what we call these pipelines. And a pipeline is simply a list of leads where you can nurture, right? You attract, you nurture, then you eventually convert. So what we're seeing is that so many coaches don't even have a pipeline. They don't even have a list full of leads that they can nurture. Or the opposite is true. They have a leaky pipeline. So they have leads coming in from everywhere, right? They were speaking on a stage. They held a retreat. They went to a networking event. They have a lead magnet on social media, right? They have people constantly coming into their systems. And because they don't have a system to follow up with, their leads are leaking like a leaky pipeline. And here's the truth, you guys. You don't have a business if you don't have a pipeline. So we help our clients do this by focusing in on just 2 or 3 lead generating streams. Okay. We love helping our clients speak on stages because, hey, right? Stories are so freaking impactful. So we love teaching our proven 6-figure talk strategy. We then also encourage them to master just 2 social media platforms. So just pick your favorite and then we're going to run with it. And then we give them a third option only if they feel that they need it. So an additional stream would be like a book, a podcast, maybe ads, right? Or email newsletters. Okay. But I do not think you need to be everywhere because that just creates so much frustration within you and within your team when you are literally trying to be everywhere. So when you're trying to show up, you guys, I really want you well, if you're showing up everywhere and you're exhausted, then I want you to do this power move. Okay, right here. Write this one down. It's called a lead generating audit. Okay, so this is where I want you to make a list of everywhere that you are trying to show up. Hence, trying. Right? Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're trying to show up everywhere and it's leaving you exhausted and again, probably leaving you still broke. So I want you to first identify where you're showing up. And most importantly, then the second step is what platforms do you need to ditch so that you can truly show up fully for the platforms you want to be on. Okay. We're diving deep into pillar 4, which is a part of our system called the cash catalyst. This one is spicy because this is where most of the coaches really ultimately go wrong. All right. Because you've got the heart, you've got the passion, you've got the certifications, you've probably got all the freaking letters behind your name. You've been chasing all of those things that prove, that you can sell at a higher rate. But if you don't have sales training, You guys are going to be left in the dust this year. Okay. So I'm not just a coach that tells you raise your prices or embody high ticket energy. Cool slogans, right? But if you don't pair that with systems, this is what we're going to see, right? So these are some of the common problems we see in the sales department. No clear offers. You're trying to sell 10 things to 10 different people. No follow-up system, right? You treat no as never instead of not yet. Bro sales, right? That hardcore sales approach. Maybe you have a mindset of I don't want to be pushy, right? But you're thinking sales are slimy instead of just thinking them as serving. And there's no step-by-step sales system, no leads list, right? Guys, we teach you all of these things. I'm not going to go into them because over, these upcoming months, we're going to really dive into sales tactics that work. But I want to get to pillar number 5 because it's so freaking cool. So pillar number 5 is what we call the power hour protocols. Finally, right? Structure. $1 million sales don't happen from chaos or winging it. They happen when you run your day and your business like a CEO. So I help my clients lock in what we call the GSD protocols, the systems and the processes that make business and life easier. It's a rhythm that fuels your energy, protects your priorities, and keeps the sales moving. So when your calendar is built like a CEO's calendar, you stop spinning your wheels, you stop scaling, and you start stepping into clarity, focus, and results. So I want you to think of this pillar like the GPS for growth. Every move has a purpose, every time block is intentional, and every day leads to a sale. All right, so if you're listening right now thinking, damn, Karissa, this is me to a T. I know what to do, but I can't seem to stay consistent doing it, then listen up, because that's exactly why I built Cash Flow Codes. It's $66 a month, no contract, no fluff, just helping you get results. This is for women who are done playing small and ready to start seeing consistent clients, consistent cash, and consistent confidence in her business. All right. So this isn't another learn more program. This is where you come to do the damn thing and to get paid for it. So if you're interested in what that program or how working with me looks like, I put Cash Flow Codes link in the show notes. You can obviously go there anytime, read about it, and enroll right then and there. Okay, over the next few weeks, we're breaking down each pillar of the matrix. Next Monday, I'm going to start with diving deeper into quantum energetics. We're going to go deep into fear and imposter syndrome, the two biggest mindset blocks keeping so many freaking coaches broke. We're going to talk about the nervous system and how it's sabotaging your strategy and how to think like a six-figure CEO that you're becoming. Make sure you've subscribed and you're ready because the next episode is going to shift everything for you. And if today's episode hit home, go ahead and screenshot, tag me at Karissa Adkins, and tell me which pillar you're going to focus on this week. Remember, Queen, your future isn't waiting. It's built by decisions that you make today. Now, go make some big money sales moves. That's a wrap for today's episode of Big Money Sales Moves. Say goodbye to hustle and grind and burnout and hello to ethical sales and Alpha Queen strategies. If you're ready to master high-ticket sales, scale your business, or grow your empire, head on over to www.alphaqueencollective.com and make your next big money move today.